What's happening, beautiful people? It's your boy, Coach P, Too Real, aka The Realist. So in today's video, I want to chat a little bit about emotional intelligence, right? But before we get into, these 3 tips that I have laid out for you all, I want to address something, right? And that's starting with the stereotypes, right? So vulnerability. Is it okay for a man to be vulnerable? Well, we have to first off understand that everybody has their own opinions. Everybody's from different backgrounds, so everybody have their own beliefs. You know what I'm saying? One person may feel like it's okay. Another person might feel that it ain't. At the end of the day, it's all about how you feel. Because when we're living in our lives, we're not living from the outside. We're not necessarily living to the agenda of what society has. So the truth is, it's all about how you feel about it. Now, to give my real explanation, we must understand that at the end of the day, we human beings, right? So we all have a mixture of both, you know what I'm saying, energies, masculine and feminine, Now, we understand that with women, they're more so to be emotional because that's how they was created. They have more of a feminine energy. They are feminine. However, I've seen women who has both. I've seen women who's master both, just as men, you know what I'm saying? We have masculine energies and we also have some feminine traits. But here's the thing, in society, and the reality is, a masculine and a feminine, they're two different energies. You know what I'm saying? A masculine energy is more so on control. You know what I'm saying? It's more logical. It's more emotionless. You know what I'm saying? And versus a woman who is really built off emotions, you know what I'm saying? But she's also intuitive, you know what I'm saying? And she's a receiver. And with the masculine man, he's a giver. So those are literally the energy traits of the societal world and the truth of just how we were created. But the catch is this: it's not a matter of if I should be vulnerable. Is it okay for a man to express how he feel? The truth is, we have to learn how to balance both of these energies, you know what I'm saying? Because we have both of them, you know what I mean? So once we learn how to balance both energies, and we also get the understanding of how these energies both work within our own, universe and our own self, then we can understand how important it is, right? So when you expressing your emotions, though, as a man, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be built. You're supposed to be tough. You shouldn't cry. You shouldn't do none of that. Listen, that's everybody else's opinion. But here's the truth. We still are emotional human beings. But here's the catch for a man. It's all about control. And control is it's a masculine trait. You know what I'm saying? That's just how we built. We're really built to control everything. You know what I'm saying? But when we are not controlling our emotions, when we are not, aware of how we should respond to a situation, those are the things that make us appear to be weak. So here's the thing. It's not about being weak. It's not about work. It's not about being soft. But the truth is, what people are calling that is you don't have any control of yourself. Now, as a man, you should have control. You should have control of your own self, because at the end of the day, it's nobody else's responsibility based off how you act. You should have control of how you act. You should have control of your emotions. And most importantly, you should be aware of when your emotions are triggered, right? So in this video, that's what I'm here for. We're going to tackle the 3 tips that's going to help you become mentally strong. So let's go get into the first thing. All right. So the number one thing that we must do to become emotionally strong is we have to stop taking everything so personal, right? And what that means is, what someone else says, what someone else thinks, that necessarily doesn't mean it's true about us, right? Because when we sit here and we take everything personal, bro, it creates anger. It creates fear. It creates, anxiety. But the problem is, when you worried about what somebody else say, or you taking it too personal, you living outside of the body now, man. You know what I mean? So you have to gain control of yourself and understand that, listen, maybe this person said this thing out of anger. Maybe this person just having a bad day. So when you start looking at things like that, instead of making, make it more personal towards you, you know what I mean? You really starting to really control, okay, let me view this thing in a different light. Now, to stop taking things so personal, stop reacting, so fast. You know what I'm saying? And especially for a man, you don't necessarily want to have to react to everything. Everything doesn't need a reaction. Sometimes it's just a pause. And if something said to you and you really ain't feeling what it said, you don't have to instantly react. You must stop and you must think. So as a masculine man, you feel me? We are logical. We think before we move. Now, oh, beautiful woman, she just goes. She just flows. That's just in her nature. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, you want to be able to think first before you react. You know what I'm saying? And the real thing I can tell you is you really don't even want to react. You want to think and respond. And therefore, when you are able to really stop in the moment of thinking whatever it is, now you have time to say, okay, you know what? Let me not take this thing so personal. I know such and such was just telling me how they had a bad day. And whatever they said, that's just how it is. And especially when you're in a relationship, especially with a woman, a woman, again, she's naturally, emotional. So it's going to be times where she going to change. She going to change like the weather. That's in her nature. But as a man, you must understand that, listen, okay, that's her nature, man. She's just having a rough day. The best thing for you to do, again, is not take it personal, but be here for her. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is, bro. Like, hey, I didn't make these laws up. I didn't make the rules up. It's just reality. Because, we're talking in the sense of how to be emotionally strong as a man, right? And of course, women, you can take these same tips because it go hand in hand. We all have the same the energies, you know what I'm saying? Women are just more emotional than men. But again, when we talking about balancing those things, especially when you're in a relationship with a woman and her nature is to be emotionally responsive, you have to be a man. You have to stand on 10. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that, you got to lock up your emotions. Again, it's all about, stop, think, you know what I'm saying? And then respond. So following right behind of not taking things personal, the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're not making assumptions about anything. All right, so this assumption thing is real big because, I like to tell my kids especially, when you assume, you become you become an ass. So the truth is, man, you cannot, make up a story, especially when you don't even know or when you don't even know all the facts. So let's use this for example. Let's say, you hear somebody say, hey, yo, such and such was talking about me. All right. Now, if you automatically react, not respond, and then, you assume like, okay, that person was talking about me. Listen, man, that is the weakest way to handle any situation. You know what I'm saying? The best way is 2 ways you can handle the situation in this example, right? Number 1, you can say, oh, or okay, cool, and let it go. Or number 2, you can say, hey, listen, you can approach the person that, said something about you. You can say, hey, listen, man, such and such told me, you said this. What's that about? See, that's how you approach that thing. You get what I'm saying? You ain't got to go and approach it like, hey, man, this is what you said about me. Nah, because again, especially as a man, you're a thinker, man. You got to be patient. You know what I mean? You can't assume anything. You know what I mean? And another point to that, using another example, when, people having a bad day and they come at you like, like they mad or angry or whatever like that. I get it. Your response is naturally to be like, you know what I'm saying, bro, you were talking to me. But man, when you hit a certain level of understanding, you feel me? You realize and say, look, hold up, bro. Like, maybe bro talking to me, baby bro tripping or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you know what I mean? I'm not going to even try to wrap my head around it unless I literally go to this person and say, hey, what was that about? So instead of making assumptions, make sure you fully know what the whole entire situation is about, man. That's going to save you a lot of time and it's going to save you a lot of energy as well, all right? And the third thing, man, this is really important. You have to take responsibility of your emotions, you know what I'm saying? As well as taking accountability, right? So at the end of the day, how you respond, how you react, it's all on you. You know what I'm saying? Because people not living for you, you living for yourself. And especially if you react, in a way of anger or whatever the case may be, bro, like everybody's looking at you. That's on you. Because although, you live from within, you got to understand something. Like, people ain't living within you. They just seeing, the results of you. They're just seeing, the illusion of you. But you have to understand, like, this is what people, they look at you. And here's the thing, I say a lot, man, don't worry about what nobody say. But, in certain settings, in certain situations, bro, like, whatever you look like is going to look crazy. So you look like a person, or you are a person who always get angry, always get mad. people ain't gonna want to hang around you. You gonna be that talk and be like, listen, let's go out to eat, but don't invite such and such, because they get mad, they do this and they do that, right? So you have to take responsibility of how you are. And the first step to taking responsibility is you have to be aware of it. You have to understand that, like, bro, like, I'm not perfect. I got this flaw. I get angry at this right here. So when you become aware, then you can figure out, okay, what's triggering me to respond in this way? Because you have to do the inner work, man, regardless of whatever it is that you do. When you are trying to become a better person, just in general, it requires inner work. So you have to ask the real questions. You have to ask the real tough questions. You have to take responsibility, but most important, you got to be real with yourself. You know what I mean? If you look around and you start looking and seeing like, dang, I'll never get invited to this, you need to figure out why. Of course, you can ask the person, hey, listen, man, why y'all never invite me? But that's good, you know what I'm saying? But you got to start investigating these things, and you also got to start looking at, how you feel in certain situations. So, with taking responsibility and really channeling and really figuring out, okay, what's triggering this? You know what I'm saying? That's the first step. And then also, you feel me? With self-evaluation, you know what I'm saying? That self-care thing comes into play too. And when we talk about self-care, it's part of, developing. So taking accountability, you spending that time alone, you really writing down, look, this is how I feel when I do this. This is a thing that triggered me, man. It's just going to ordainly make you a better person. I guarantee that, you know what I'm saying? And you have to take the responsibility. You have to be the one that be like, okay, you know what, man, I gotta do better, you know what I'm saying? And stop blaming others for, your situations, your issues, how you respond. It's all on you. All right. So take accountability of that. So just to recap on today's video, we talk about 3 things that's going to help you become emotionally strong. Number 1, don't take things personal. Number 2, don't make assumptions. And number 3, take responsibility for your own actions. All right. So I guarantee if you do these things day in and day out, do the work, I guarantee you become emotional resilient, man, and learning how to handle a lot of different situations. All right. So make sure you tap into that next video. I'm gonna have something smooth with y'all. If y'all like this video, make sure you like it. Share the video. I appreciate everything that y'all doing. Make sure you put a comment in. Let me hear something. Let me hear some ways that you handle your emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Because the goal is to be emotional resilient. Again, we're not worried about how to be, you know what I mean, tough. You feel me? We more focused on how to be. And that's just what's important, you know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all. Hey, listen, until next time, make sure you stay focused, stay on your journey, all right? I appreciate you. It's your boy, Coach P. I'm out.